So I literally in one day rebuilt the wall and built this waterfall at the entranceway to my church as a donation. And I did it with a bunch of rookies. Wow. Look at how clear it is in full sun with no aquatic plants because of the way it gets used. Hey, they got some fish in there. I didn't know they were gonna put fish in there. And look at how beautiful this little setting is back here. And this is a very standard size pond. Just the biofalls, you know, and on one side, skimmer on the other, just recirculating. Welcome to living the Aquascape lifestyle. All right, talk about the contrast of all of the entranceways to subdivisions. Here's the entranceway to my church. There's the walls that were falling down, and this wall was falling down. So why don't we put a waterfall in here? So I literally in one day rebuilt the wall and built this waterfall at the entranceway to my church as a donation. And I did it with a bunch of rookies. Look at how beautiful it looks. It just roams, big basin, 500 gallons. They did have the basin excavated. I said, just dig the hole for me and I'll come rebuild the walls and do that. But you know, here's could easily be at any entranceway of a subdivision, but here it is at the church. And why not have a waterfall for everybody coming in off the street?
The most impressive thing is you did it in a day?
A day. One day.
And all those other ones were over-engineered.
Yep. And
concrete footings.
And they don't work.
Ordered all in. Can't get to the pumps, and they don't work.
So where are we at, Brian?
We're at Christ Community Church. I think probably one of the most memorable projects because of the reason we built it. 100% built it for the children and their camp program that they have over the summer.
Well, 99% for the kids and then 1% for baptisms.
Yes. They actually just recently did a baptism in it. The camp is closed, but they can do baptisms.
Yeah. So here's my old church that I used to go to. Here's the entrance. I mean, how beautiful is that? And of course, since the last time we were here, you added on to it, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the story why we're coming back, right?
It was such a huge response from the kids. They originally thought, you know, it'd be big enough for 10, 15 kids. Well, then they wanted to put 20 to 30 in there.
Of course.
We had to make it bigger. And what's everybody...
Hey, you think that kid will let me do the longboard?
No.
I think he will. I'm gonna try that. That'll be so fun. Wow. Look at how clear it is in full sun with no aquatic plants because of the way it gets used. Hey, they got some fish in there. I didn't know they were gonna put fish in there.
Somebody threw them in there. They didn't want to.
Let's hit the dance floor. Don't work too hard, might break a backbone. Return of the Mac, the king is back though. Corvette and cash, I never like those. She saw the stone, you know how that go. Fatality, my diamonds that cold. Versace trunks, I hit my backstroke. Knock on the door, she at the back row. All I really take is a little taste. I let girl blue eyes with a little bass. Here for the thrill, I don't need a chaser. Wanna vibe at the getaway. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah, got this.
Always like coming back to projects. I know we shot this one last year, but wanted to come back because we put a big addition on the project. Like we said, it wasn't big enough for all the kids. And so let me show you what we did. The original swim pond actually went from there to about like here. Kind of came in on a slight little curve. And what we did is we came over here and extended all of this. And it goes down deep. So this whole section goes down about 4 feet deep. And again, we did a slate bottom floor, so it's effortless for them to stand down in this area. I'm standing on a rock that they can easily kind of jump in from and go down into some of that deeper water. I'm sure they don't condone jumping in. We put in some major jets, so you can see this water here bubbling up, but there's actually a set of 4 jets in here. One from this corner, and the rest of them are down deeper, just pushing water out of this area. By adding this big giant tongue over here, if we didn't push water out of this area, this would all become very stagnant. But still, my favorite part of this whole project is right where Greg's at, and it's these really formal steps that come down in, and we had to do something like this just to make it easier for, I guess, the kids that weren't confident enough to come in, and the baptisms.
It looks great.
It looks fantastic.
Simple landscaping.
I think what I would be interested in your viewers, Greg, is if your viewers have seen a ton of different projects, right, from all over the place, if there's one thing they would say this pond needs, or what is it lacking, I wonder what they would all say, like if they gave their opinion. I know what mine is.
Aquatic plants.
Aquatic plants.
Of course.
A couple of lilies in here, some big patches of lilies would look great.
What I love is the creativity. Instead of doing a swimming pool, they did a recreation water feature that the kids could wade in. They can stand up anywhere in here. They get to splash around it. They've got fish in it, which is just like the ocean or a lake, and people sometimes freak out because they can see the fish, but they're not going to bother anybody. And I love the creativity of this. This is a cool church. It's going to see a beautiful waterfall, a setting of a water feature with the background of the church behind it, and then it's functional for not only baptism, but the kids to use it when they're allowed to come in when non-COVID times. And just terrific job, and I love the fact back the classic once again. You build it and then come back the same season and add on to it.
Because everybody's #1 complaint 25 years ago was the same complaint as this year, and it was what?
Wish I would have built it bigger.
You can tell we've been working with each other for a little bit, huh?
Really think I'm seeing things.
But yeah, really cool. One of my favorite parts, and I think I say this a lot, right? My favorite part is this, my favorite part is that, but I really do like the kind of more formal seating area. So that whole area there is at about 18 to 20 inches underwater, and then it drops down to a 4-foot deep area there. So a bunch of people can kind of sit there and just hang out. Lots of jets moving water from there. We've got the solid slate floor bottom. These really cool stone steps. I would love to do this again. I can't wait to find the project that allows us to do it. Maybe even take it to another level and go back again this way and that way. Don't know. But this was fun, and Chris and the guys did a great job putting it all together. It's just a very unique perspective for a church to have, or any type of camp. You don't get kids to swim in a pond rather than a swimming pool. And how much more fun do they have swimming in a big pond than a pool? In fact, I know my kids would rather swim in a pond than a pool every day, because my neighbors have a swimming pool and they find that boring compared to the pond.
Let's hit the dance floor. Don't work too hard, my break a backbone. Return of the Mac, the king is back though. Put in the cash and never let go. She saw the stone, you know how that go. Fatality, my diamonds that cold. Versace trunks, I hit my backstroke.
So I was just sharing with Greg how I tell people what to expect on water clarity of a pond. I always tell them, especially with these swim ponds and recreation ponds, is remember one thing, it's never ever going to be a swimming pool. It's not chlorinated, it doesn't have a blue liner, it is a swim pond. Ponds are natural living things, right? And so don't expect this thing to be as clear as a swimming pool. But what I will always promise you is if I take a quarter and throw it into the bottom of the pond, you'll be able to tell if it's heads or tails. Your water clarity will always be good, but you're always going to see a little bit of film on the rocks and the gravel because there's algae and that kind of stuff, which is naturally a great filter. So let me throw this quarter and we'll see if we can see it on the bottom or not. All right, here we go. Here's the quarter. Ready, Greg? Here we go.
Fatality, my diamonds that cold. Versace trunks, I hit my backstroke. Knock on the door, she at the back, bro. All I really take is a little taste. Island girl, blue eyes with a little bass.
I don't know if you guys can see this. There's the quarter, giving you an idea of how crystal clear it is 4 feet deep. Let's see if we can zoom in and actually tell if it's heads or tails. Well, if the water would stop, it looks like heads, but at least we know it's a quarter.
You know, it's fun for me to be able to come back and visit my guys' work. We used to go to church here for a dozen years or so, and to be able to come back and see a place that I loved and that I cared about, be able to do our team's art is why I love to say I love my job. No two jobs are alike, no two settings are alike, every stone is different, but the process to build it remains the same. This vlog channel is to inspire people to live the Aquascape lifestyle, inspire churches to think outside the box for things like baptisms or entertaining their kids, because we're trying to show something creative, something outside the box, and something non-traditional, and that's exactly what they've done here at Christ Community Church. So proud of Brian. He's such an incredible artist, such an incredible designer. To overcome a challenge of having to seam a liner like he did on this one and add on to it in the first season nonetheless. This is why you always want to hire a certified Aquascape contractor and a professional to do your water feature, because they know how to do stuff like this. This is not an easy job to pull off like this, and the fact that the guys can do it, and in the second season it looks this good, it's just absolutely amazing.
How are you? What a great day to be outside, right?
Oh, look at you. You're like waiting for us and just enjoying the water feature, huh?
I love the water feature. It was a beautiful day.
Oh my gosh. What year is this for this now?
It'll be the 3rd year in September.
Okay, so almost 3 years old. And look at how beautiful this little setting is back here. And this is a very standard size pond that we recommend for somebody that's getting into the hobby. Some beautiful Wandisa water lilies there. Beautiful yellow bloomer. Just a biofalls, you know, and on one side side, skimmer on the other, just recirculating. They put this little jet in here because of this dead zone, so there's not a dead zone with the water there. Look at the ground covers, you know, just making and softening up. Once again, you don't want to know where the land ends and the water begins. So a couple boulders, you know, a couple of the ground covers growing around them with the sedums, and then just the biofalls hidden back there. Love all the little statuary, you know, right next to the patio, right outside with all of the windows facing it. And this yard is probably only, I'd say, you know, 50 by 50 feet. But look at this beautiful sanctuary that they've got back here. And it just completely changes. I love to say a water feature changes a house into a home. So an 11 by 16 foot or so water feature is the average size water feature that we recommend. It's big enough to get a hobbyist involved with the fish and the plants and let them grow, let them get their fish grow, let them get their plants grow. Anything smaller than that, bigger is always better, but anything smaller than that, you're going to outgrow that hobby for sure, because it's so many things. There's so much interest that so many things to do here. Third year Aquascape ecosystem pond, and just a beautiful piece of nature out here.
One of them's like 2 inches. I buy babies and let them grow. And so they're out, they're happy. They're out all the time.
Do the grandkids love coming? Has grandma got a cool yard?
Yes, because then we get all the water toys out and then we play, we make cookies and we pretend. And we have all, they play with it like it's a pool.
There's something for everybody with a water garden, isn't there?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you have awesome fish. They're cool.
They're okay. There's 5 of them. There's one that you probably can barely see. He's orange and blue, like a denim blue. Oh, and then there's 5 that are brown and black.
So you have more than 5.
There's 10. There's 5 brown and black. They were born in the old hole in the ground that I had.
Yes. Predated this water feature.
Yes, that fish is awesome. The all orange one without the scales.
He's got a black
Doitsu.
Oh yeah.
So what is this water feature like compared to your last one?
The Taj Mahal.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
It's got everything.
So you're a hobbyist that started out and then you finally just went with an Aquascape ecosystem pond.
Yeah, I played around with a hole in the ground that was a 3-foot diameter for 3 years. Learned how to have a couple fish, a couple, you know, just basic fish, and then how to run it and clean it and do what, and had fun with it.
Talk a little bit about the jet and why you put it over here, because of the design of where the skimmer had to go because of the patio. So talk a little bit about that.
I have organic matter that kind of comes into my pond, and so I wanted something that was 100% all the time. And so we added this one. I pointed upwards in the winter to add yet another hole.
Yep.
So there's the waterfall that has the hole. I take the other jet that's here, point it up. So I've got enough open air space.
And then the animals come and drink out of the water.
Look at this, Greg. So right now you can see the turbulence going across here.
Yes.
Really help aid a lot of the stuff then getting pushed into the skimmer box.
Yes.
But then what she was talking about, in the winter, you simply just go like this, and look at how that agitation would keep a huge hole open in the winter.
Yeah.
So the jet's effortless to kind of move around. In fact, if you wanted to even use it to kind of like move some debris around in different areas, you could push it in different areas just to kind of move that stuff around.
So there it is. There's an Aquascape pond power head. Easy add-on to any existing pond, and the koi love to swim in the current, don't they?
It's like a
koi,
park for
a koi treadmill.
Yeah, they swim into it, then they get pushed.
Hey, so we're back at this project again. It was a fun project, and what I like about it is because a project like this is very relatable. We don't always do huge, giant projects, and it just fits so nice in this backyard. So let me turn this baby around and see what we're talking about. So one of our design challenges with this one is we always want to try to bring the pond right up close to the patio, right? I couldn't sneak a pond in here because of the massive tree and all the roots. I would have definitely damaged this tree trying to sneak it in here, and this would have worked. And in this area over here, difficult because it slopes off so drastically. If I wanted the pond right up close to this, the water level would have been so removed from this area down a good, 18 inches or so. So it didn't make sense to bring it right in here. I could have always built it up, which then would have caused everything else to be then built up, which would have brought in a lot of extra soil and everything else. So what we did was actually kind of enhance this space here. So this used to all be lawn, giving them a whole separate little patio. So creating a single step coming down to a lower patio gives a much different feel, and leaving the patio big enough for, just a couple chairs, and then getting us really close to the water level here. A pond like this we do in about a day, and it ranges anywhere from 10 to 15,000 just depending on costs. Nice size waterfall. All the dirt that comes out of here gets flipped over to there to create a berm, and then we bring in some nice soil on top so they can really do some lush plantings. And she's done a fantastic job softening up that biofalls up there and getting some plants and stuff in there. Oh, the welcome committee. I think that's my cue to go. Hope you guys like this one.
I love this pond because what I love about it is, first of all, it's very low maintenance for her. It's a regular size pond, 11 by 16 pond. It's a standard size pond that we tell somebody they should get to blend the hobby where their future needs are going to be with fish and plants, along with an affordable product that could go in pretty much anywhere. And here's one thing that I want to point out with this. You'll see a little bit of, oh, I got some algae on the rocks right now. Her dosing system, bag ran out, and here's the automatic doser right here. She just put a new bag in today, she said. And about a week and a half, most of that will be gone, but that's healthy. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of algae. This is not a swimming pool. This is not a hot tub. This is a pond, and ponds should have a little bit of green on it because it's natural and it's healthy. Some of the fish will eat off that. If you're out of town for a week, you don't have to worry about it. I love this because this just is a very standard water feature for someone that's getting into the hobby. 11 by 14, 11 by 16 type of pond kit. They got a beautiful water lily, some really nice fish, and she loves it. She enjoys it. She's a retired IT director, and this is her sanctuary. This little patio sitting back here. This is what living the aquascape lifestyle is all about. It doesn't have to be a big, grandiose water feature. This is a very standard water feature, but it's extremely beautiful, extremely enjoyable. This is what I love about my job. And if you like following along, getting inspiration for your own yard, hit the like button, subscribe, and comment so more people can see what living the aquascape lifestyle is all about. I love my job.